Hello everybody, welcome on the second episode of Crypto Truth News, the channel that gives you the truth about cryptocurrencies and making cryptocurrencies accessible even to newbies, to new people in the cryptocurrency world. People that want to know more, that don't know much yet, and that are interested in learning more in the subject. Before we start, please subscribe to this channel and please get some reminders so that you don't miss a single episode, because every day we will check the market, we will check the news, try to figure out why the market is going in that particular direction, and then we will go and look for some really cool projects to invest in. Right now I'm showing you projects that I have already invested in because I've not talked about them yet, and I think they're very, very cool projects, and then we will go and look for some new ones together. So please subscribe to this channel, give me a little thumbs up to tell me that this is interesting to you, and let's just start right in. So let's start with looking what's going on in the market today. I woke up, today is Sunday the 11th of February, it's around 10 a.m. French time, Paris time, and everything is in the red. The market cap today is of $386,451,000,000. The Bitcoin dominance is of 34.7%. In yesterday's episode, it was somewhere between 33.5 and around 33%, I think. So let's just look at some of the major coins and see what's going on here for people that are listening to the podcast and can't watch my screen. Bitcoin is currently going down, has been going down in the last 24 hours by 9.3%. It is now worth $7,964. Ethereum is going down also by 9% daily. Ripple is going down by 15%. When I went to bed last night, it was quite late, around midnight. Ripple was going up by double digits, and now I woke up and it has been going down. You can see. We will look at some charts later. Bitcoin Cash, which was also doing pretty well, is down to $1,217. ADA, Cardano is going down by 11.3%. Litecoin is also going down by 11%. Cardano, by the way, is now 36 cents, which is better than when I bought it, so that's pretty cool. And I didn't get into the ICO, I got it during last week's crash. Now Neo is going down by 15%, it's at $97. Dash is at $564, going down by 12%. We can see all the coins, but we're not going to look at them all. Let's just look at the projects that we talk about also. So yesterday we talked about Utrust, UTK. If I can type properly, I will find it, and here it is. It's going down by 19% approximately in the last 24 hours. It's now worth 25 cents. If you didn't buy in, I think that now would be a good time to buy in, because 25 cents is a pretty good price for it. I know it was launched at much lower during the ICO, but if you missed the ICO, then it's a really good price to get in. And again, you know, maybe it's going to go lower, maybe it's not. We don't know. We never know. When people tell you the price is going to continue to go down, they're bullshitting, because ultimately they have absolutely no idea. Nobody has any way of knowing when the market will recover, when it will crash, and when it will reach its lowest or highest point. Sorry, just getting a little drink here. That's it for today's market. So we are in the red. The market cap is at 393 billion. Yesterday it was around 420 billion, I guess, 400. My memory is a little bit floppy right now. But anyway, this is it for the market cap for today. Okay, so let's look at the white paper, Power Ledger. Every time you want to invest into a cryptocurrency, into a project, you have to read the white papers. Usually they're between 20 and 40 pages long, so that's not very long. And it gives you a really good idea of what the project is about, what the roadmap is, what are their plans, etc., etc. So Power Ledger, white paper. We believe empowering individuals and communities to co-create their energy future will underpin the development of a power system that is resilient, low-cost, zero-carbon, and owned by the people of the world. So this is basically what all the project is about, and it makes me very happy and very enthusiastic for two reasons. First of all, because climate change is something very important. It is real. It's very, very, very dangerous. Not for our great-great-grandchildren, but for us and for our children too. And it brings the whole economy of low carbon and clean energy to the people, from one individual to the other through the blockchain. This is what the blockchain is about. This is the beauty of the blockchain, because it can really solve some huge problems and eliminate all the middlemen that put a brake on it. So right now, for climate change, if you look at governments across the world, if you look at the United States, for example, where the president says that it's a hoax, that it doesn't exist, that climate change is invented by the Chinese somehow. I'm quite surprised he didn't say it was invented by the Jews. I don't want to get in the subject of Donald Trump. But anyway, they're really slowing down the process of us making progress in how we create energy and how we deal with it. And putting it on the blockchain eliminates these middlemen. It eliminates the government. It eliminates the banks, etc., etc. And so when it's done sometimes it's done for some financial projects, but when it's done really for the environment, for example, for charities and things like this, this is really taking it to a next level for me, because I think it can actually change the world and make it a better place. So then you have the summary. It gives you a disclaimer, of course. It probably tells you that everything you see is a project and not already a fact. Business and industry overview, so it gives you an overview, the market size. It is really a business presentation. It's a presentation for a startup, because those projects are essentially startups. So the market size, stationary energy, non-stationary energy, an energy revolution, a trustless trading program, what is blockchain technology. So they also will explain, because maybe you're reading this white paper and you have no idea what blockchain is, you have no idea what cryptocurrencies are. And I don't even see the word cryptocurrency anywhere here. It's just a project that uses the blockchain. Because it uses the blockchain, it creates these smart contracts, and it also creates those tokens. And those tokens are traded online to make profits, but I don't like to think of it as buying tokens just to make profits and just trade them, but to really invest in some really cool companies. And if the company is cool, if the project is awesome, and if they execute their idea, then of course the value of your tokens will come up. Here they talk about the tokens. So they tell you about the business. First of all, they'll also tell you about the partners. Then they'll tell you about the platforms, the platform applications, and then they will tell you about its achievements and its technical overviews. Technology application layers, so they use the Ethereum blockchain, and they will talk about it. Then they'll talk about the core of the Power Ledger, and then the Power Ledger applications layer, fuse box, meter readings, trade engines, so everything that it can actually do. And then of course it will give you, as in every business, a roadmap. So a roadmap will tell you some predictions about what's going to happen when. So here's when they launch, they launched the pre-ICO, etc., etc., etc. Here's the disclaimer. This document is not a technical white paper setting out the current and future developments of the Power Ledger platform, Power ecosystem, This paper is for information purposes only, and this is really important because the information contained here are all predictions and goals and hypotheses, so that you don't take it as fact. So now we get into what the business industry is all about. The power of ledger, the energy industry. The power of power, which is very catchy, I like it. The energy industry used to be simple vertically integrated utilities out in the middle of the system, like benevolent spiders spinning a web out of the last consumer requesting connection. They decided where and when to build generating capacity. They decided how to bridge the distance between generators and loads, etc., etc. While progressive utilities and regulators try to position themselves as consumer-focused or consumer-centric, the reality is even the most progressive are only rephrasing a narrative that pushes citizens into categories of consumers. Clinging to the umbilicus of the power network, consumers are fed a steady diet of price and product. The cost of energy security can be counted in terms of control, certainty, and economic independence. But a global technology revolution has changed the power balance between consumers and centralized power authorities. It's exactly what I was talking about earlier. The booming market in distributed energy resources like solar photovoltaic systems, batteries, microgrids, and embedded networks have moved the power balance from central authorities to the edges of the grid to where citizens have control. And it is not just about controlling the cost of energy consumption, it is a reflection of people's desires that their energy supplies are more sustainable, more socially responsible, more local, more resilient, and more democratic. All that is needed to move the revolution into the mainstream is a model for energy trading that takes control out of the hands of central players and puts everyday citizens in charge of a co-created energy future. So this is telling you approximately what it's going to do. We talked about it kind of before also, but it's good to read it in their own words. Then they tell you about, I'm not going to read through the whole white paper. I do advise you to read it if you are thinking of buying into Power Ledger, and even if you're not, just to see how a white paper works. So then they tell you about the market size for different kind of energy suppliers, stationary, non-stationary. And then they talk about energy because this is what they are all about. A trusted trading platform. A trading platform is a network that allows consumers to sell energy to their peers in a trustless environment. It is a new component of the distributed energy that allows consumers to realize the value of their investment in TR by allowing them to monetize their excess energy in much the same way as Uber and Airbnb allow people to monetize their cars and spare rooms. So when you pay for more energy than you consume, you can basically sell that extra energy to other people, much like in a share economy would work. So they give you the example of Uber and Airbnb. So everything, so because you do pay for it and other people pay for it and the prices are quite big and there's a lot of money wasted and there's a lot of energy wasted also. A trading platform that requires third-party settlement and reconciliation of millions of transactions between hundreds of thousands of traders across 500 trading intervals would be almost impossible to support without a central player taking control of all parties' data, prescribing fees, requesting trust, providing accuracy, and binding the market up in red tape and bureaucracy. But the blockchain is an agreement machine that can facilitate the financial settlement of these transactions in the same trading intervals in which the energy is produced and consumed, and it can be achieved at a speed not possible using current market settlement technologies. Blockchain-enabled P2P energy trading will transform energy networks into trading platforms and invoke a transactive economy that moves away from bilateral retail arrangements to multilateral trading ecosystems, preserving networks' relevance to consumers. What is blockchain technology? Blockchain is a software innovation for establishing digital trust between users, facilitating transaction of value over a network. And that specific, here it's about trading energy that you already pay for, energy that you already have, to other people without any middlemen, without any centralized institution. The blockchain enables trust to be distributed through a network without the need for a central intermediary to track, verify, and approve the digital exchange of value. The notion of authorizing trust from a central intermediary currently underpins both private and government institutional structures. However, this is proving to be costly, slow, and also vulnerable to attack. Blockchain overcomes these issues by operating as a decentralized distributed database, maintaining a continuously growing list of records called blocks. Although blockchain technology is still an emergent one, current applications show it can be better, more efficient, and more secure than traditional systems, which is why banks and governments globally are beginning to experiment with it. Yeah. Anyway, smart contracts. So smart contracts are the crypto part of the cryptocurrency. And there are protocols that facilitate, verify, or enforce the performance of a contract, making a contractual clause unnecessary. Smart contracts often emulate the logic of contractual clauses. Why society needs an energy trading platform. So why do you need this project? It is not just network service providers that benefit from maintaining the relevance of one of our most important social assets. The people that have the most to lose in the face of failing network utilization are the people that have the least ability to influence the exposure to rising network costs and their impact on grid supplied energy. The financially and socially marginalized renters, the huge number of tenants living in a group housing developments, and even those whose homes are oriented in the wrong direction or are exposed to shading from nearby buildings or trees, are the people who will bear the impact of falling network utilization if we do not find a way to incentivize prosumers to stick tight to the network. Unlike the centrally managed power systems of the past, the future of the energy system will be co-created by the prosumers and investors that will decide where and when to install the ER. Human energy. Energy trading between citizens brings humanity to the energy system, etc., etc. Read it all. The Power Ledger platform. The Power Ledger platform is a trusted, transparent, and interoperable energy trading platform that supports an ever-expanding suite of energy applications, which is exchangeable frictionless energy trading token Sparks. The Power Ledger token is the fuel of the Power Ledger ecosystem with bespoke private trading applications, creating Sparks, I don't know how to pronounce it, in exchange for Power Ledger tokens. Sparks are currently purchased and redeemed using fiat currencies with individual trading platform hosting closed-loop exchanges for energy and Sparks. Energy trading applications are not just conceptual, they are proven and deployed in communities and energy markets around the world, including Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and Asia, such as Power Peers. This company, by the way, is based in Australia. It's an Australian company. Now they talk to us about achievements. So, first they went to Australian blockchain trial, the first international deployment, bank on ramping, commercial deployment at tenanted properties, partnership with Indra Australia. Power Ledger has signed a partnership agreement with leading global technology provider Indra to jointly develop network management solutions pairing Indra's world-leading high-speed network control and optimization platform with Power Ledger's transactive energy platforms, thus paving the way for the future development of autonomous distributed energy markets that respond in real time to network conditions and consumer behavior. Then, first electric vehicle trading platform in the third quarter of 2017. Now they show us the projects in development. So Q3 17 agreements with multiple property developers. Q3 17 a tier 1 national retailer. Q3 17 an international PPA focused solar provider. A regulatory transmission distribution operator. Multiple microgrid transaction management projects. They tell you about all the partners that they have: Vector, Western Power, Indra, Clive, Eco Village. What is this? Vision is to create a model of highly sustainable, self-reliant community is a regional village setting incorporating the best of 21st century technology. The urban residential portion of this site is approximately 60 hectares of the whole site. Okay. National lifestyle villages, Access Housing, Nest Energy, LEDGER. A lot of them I don't know. They're probably Australian companies. White Gum Valley, Land Corp, Curtin University, Yale Property Group, Nightingale Housing, Liechtenstein Institute of Strategic Development. So apparently they go overseas too. Then they talk about all the platform applications. I won't read the details here, but basically they're a neo-retailer, microgrid embedded network operator, Strata, wholesale market settlement, autonomous asset management, distributed market management, electric vehicles, power port, carbon trading, transmission exchange. Then they'll talk to you about all their achievements. You should read through that, but I don't want this video to be so long. And then they tell you about the board of directors, and this is very important. Let's just see for the first three. Bill Tai, board advisor. Originally changed as chip designer. Bill joined LSI Logic, a Silicon Valley startup formed by the CEO of Fairchild Semiconductor after earning a BSEC with honors from the University of Illinois. After completing MBA at Harvard, he was issued badge A001 at TSMC, now among the most valuable tech companies in the world. He has been a venture capitalist since 1991. Today is the chairman of Treasure Data, a board member of Bitfury and Voxer. Bill was providing chairman of CEO at Asia Networks and founding chairman at IP Infusion. He served as board director of 7 publicly listed companies that grew from startups. He founded at their formative stages. He serves on the World Economic Forum's Technology Pioneers Committee and is an adjunct professor of innovation at Curtin University. Okay, so now the co-founders. There's 5 co-founders. Dr. Gemma Green, as the chair, provides strategic external relations, risk management and leadership development for Power LEDGER. Gemma has more than 15 years experience. You can also find them on LinkedIn and look at their past also. She has a master's degree. His doctoral research into citizen utilities has produced unique insights into the challenges and opportunities for the development of rooftop solar PV and battery storage. So from her studies on, apparently she was really interested in clean energies, as you can see. Then there's David Martin, manages daily operation and commercialization of Power LEDGER's technology, working to build a market exempt P2P trading and to gain the regulatory reforms required for democratization. He has 20 years of experience in the electric industry. Then John Bullich, co-founder director. Strategic direction for Central System. Perth-based blockchain. Co-founder of LEDGER says Perth-based blockchain. To read kind of diagonally. Then you have Dr. Gov van Eck. Gov works, that's a real name, on technical development. 2015, co-founded LEDGER Assets, a leading Australian blockchain company. Then there's Jenny Conroy, company secretary and manages regulatory and business services, which includes development of products of Power LEDGER's platform. Then the team, for sales, that's the CTO. You can check him out. I think it's very important to check the CTO in this kind of industry. Check out also some of the software engineers, system engineers, Ethereum engineer, etc. Then they give you the technical overview. I'm not going to dig in this right now, but please do read this white paper. And then they talk to you about the token. The Power token will serve as the fuel of the Power LEDGER ecosystem. Power tokens help to facilitate low cost and better returns on electricity. They interact with the ecosystem through providing governance and consumer protection through smart bulb technology, facilitating access to the platform, providing loyalty rewards to participants, contributing and connecting renewable energy charities and organizations, providing access priority to asset germination events and benefits from an asset's power generation. Then they talk about the dual token ecosystem. The Power tokens are access permission tokens, Power functions smart bonds, Power tokens are incentive tokens, Power and exchanges. You could read all this. Then they talk about the Ethereum blockchain. Actually, let's read it. It's a good recap for a lot of people. The public layer utilizes the Ethereum blockchain and is where the ecosystem interfaces with third-party token exchanges. The public layer and third-party exchanges operate independently and are outside of power ledger ecosystems, control and provide the most advanced security and decentralized available in the ERC20 standard power tokens. Users may choose to exchange their power tokens publicly or store them and later utilize them within Power Ledger's Fusebox P2P application software when they become available within the user's local energy marketplace. The public layer provides a mechanism for interfacing and transacting with the consortium and application layers through the power tokens. Okay, etc., etc. State channels, ledger application layers, meta readings, trade engine, etc., blockchain, geolocation, priority, consumer choices. All this is something that you should read. But let's just get to the roadmap. Actually, we talked about it already, but let's see what's going on in the close future. So, in 2018, begin distribution of growth pool, technology layers transition. Then in the third quarter of this year, first asset germination event, marketing and partnerships. As new applications develop, potential application hosts will be targeted and our Power Ledger may directly deploy the application. Then in the late 2018, they will beta test the new applications. And 2019, frequent asset germination events transition to public blockchain. Power Ledger aims to be operating fully on the public POS blockchain, and then in the third quarter of 2019, PowerPort and future applications. Begin beta testing of the PowerPort application as well as the wholesale market settlement, distributed market management, and other future applications that cannot even be imagined yet. So this is the white paper. We went through it pretty fast, but you can go into more details and read more for yourself. And it gives you a good idea of what it's about, what the roadmap is. I really think that it has huge potential, not only as an investment point of view, but also as the project that can really make a difference into how we consume, how we sell, and how we buy energy, and clean energy at that, through the blockchain. So that's it for today. I think also, just to finish on this, I think this is a long-term investment. I don't think it will have very rapid gains, and I don't think that it will go very high before the end of 2019 because of what we saw on the roadmap. So before they start releasing applications and before they really start with the big stuff, the beta testing of the big stuff, I don't think we will see huge gains, but it's good to go in to get it now. I bought it when it was a little bit less than 50 cents. Right now, let's see where it is. We saw it at the beginning of the episode. It's at 71 cents. So it went up quite a bit, even though now it's saying it's going down 8% in the last 24 hours. I think it will go back up this other 7 days. You see, it was down to 38 cents in those 7 days. All in all, it started around 0.6. Wow, 0.6, and it's gone up higher than $184. So I think it still has a huge potential to grow. I think it will grow very high. It will grow in the near future, but it will grow very high in the long term if they are efficient, if they are really taking action into what they want. So it will depend on their execution. But I think it's a really good investment. I think it's a really cool coin. I think it contributes to the well-being of the world, and I think you should really think about it. Now let's try to see why the market is crashing right now. I have pretty much a good idea. We talked about one of them yesterday. The G20 conference is coming up. France and Germany, the biggest economic powers of the European Union, some of the biggest economic powers in the world, are getting worried about cryptocurrencies, and they want to regulate it as much as possible. And this is not This is not very good. Let's just look at some funny articles first, because I think it's very, very funny. This was from already a few days ago, and I think it contributed a little bit for when people are not seeing the hypocrisy and the wow. I mean, from these statements. Cryptocurrency. This is from Fortune.com, so it's quite a reliable magazine, mainstream media outlet for finance and also for technology and quite a lot of things. I actually read this newspaper because this magazine, because there's some interesting things on it also. And anyway, even if you don't agree, it's nice to know what's going on and what people are saying. So anyway, let's go back to this thing. Cryptocurrencies are like Ponzi schemes, World Bank chief says. Now, and then there's this video. Here are 3 risks of investing in cryptocurrency. This is shown on one of the world's biggest financial magazine in the world, Fortune.com. And there's a lot of investors reading this magazine, and there's a lot of people that want to be investors, but they don't really know how. So they basically follow some big guys that tell you what to invest in, really. So a few weeks ago, Warren Buffett said that you shouldn't invest in cryptocurrencies. So a lot of people just threw out their investments from cryptocurrencies. But let's not forget that Warren Buffett also did not believe in Facebook, he did not believe in Amazon, he did not believe in Apple, and he certainly did not believe in Google. Anyway, cryptocurrencies are like Ponzi schemes. Well, you know, the World Bank chief is saying that cryptocurrency is a Ponzi scheme. Now, please read into those lines. Banks, every single bank is a Ponzi scheme. Every single bank takes your money and gives it to somebody else to earn more money. He lends money that doesn't belong to him to other people. This is how they make money. This is the principle of a bank, right? You put your bank in the money. The bank does not have any money. They have they have zero. They have zero. You put your 100 euros because they say, yeah, we're just going to look after it for you. And then somebody else needs 100 euros and the bank doesn't have any money of their own. So they give them the money that you lend to them and they get money from that money. So they get money from your money. And this is essentially what cryptocurrency aims to eliminate, because when you have some huge crashes in the economy, like a few years ago in 2008 and even a bit more recently, banks were not able to pay back the money that people put into them. This is what happened in Greece recently also, and cost them, you know, lives, jobs, lives. So banks are pretty much evil when you think about it, and when you really think about how their system works. So cryptocurrency is aiming to be able to trade funds, or to trade money, or to trade goods from people to people without this middleman, without this bank, these banks that take so much money from you. So banks are absolutely evil. And I know I exaggerate a little bit, but essentially it really makes me laugh and also upset when you get the World Bank chief that is responsible for millions and billions of dollars lost from individuals that try to make you believe that cryptocurrency is not a good thing, and some people buy into it. But what you have to understand is that these institutions are really threatened by cryptocurrency, because when cryptocurrency will be a mainstream thing, we won't need banks anymore. There won't be banks. I owe you 5 euros, I'll give you 5 euros, you'll receive 5 euros. I owe you 10 euros because I just bought some bread from you. You will get the 10 euros. You don't need to do a transfer to a bank and the bank takes a percentage and the bank gives it to him. And then, you know, it's a whole mess. The banking system is completely archaic. It's for dinosaurs. And thanks to technology, thanks to cryptocurrency, thanks to the blockchain, we won't need them anymore. So they're very, very, very threatened. Anyway, some people listen to these kind of assholes and they get worried and they sell their cryptocurrencies. And this is why this is how people, especially people reading Fortune, which sometimes have a lot of money, they have a lot invested in it, they take it back. And the market goes down. So what does he say exactly? In terms of using Bitcoin or some of the cryptocurrencies, we are also looking at it, but right, yeah, sure. But I'm told the vast majority of cryptocurrencies are basically Ponzi schemes. It's still not really clear how it's going to work. It is perfectly clear how it's going to work. You just don't know shit, you know. The development lender is looking really carefully at blockchain technology, a platform that uses so-called distributed ledgers to allow digital assets to be traded securely. There's hope the technology could be used in developing countries to follow the money more effectively and reduce corruption, Kim says. The value of cryptocurrency soared in 2017 before slumping, with Bitcoin losing nearly 2/3 of its value since mid-December. This is also something that's really a little bit annoying when they say Bitcoin lost so much of its value. It did lose a lot of its value. That's true, but you have to remind people that don't necessarily know it that it also gained an enormous amount of value. I mean, in just a few years, it went from zero right up to $20,000. In even less time, it went from $100 to $20,000. It went up very, 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 very fast. And when it goes down, it also goes down very fast. But like some people that don't know anything about it, they're going to read this and, oh, there's this thing, it's called Bitcoin, it's worth 20,000 euros, but now it's worth 6,000 euros. It must be really, really bad. And they don't look at before the article was written. They just, you know, read what's online today. Anyway, you can read the whole article. It's not very interesting, but it just tells you why, it gives you some clues why the market is crashing. Although I'm not sure exactly, you know, don't take my word for it. I'm not sure exactly how much influence this kind of articles can have. Articles that have the most influence are government regulations and things like this. Okay, let's go to the next article. Meet the richest people. Oh yeah, so a few days ago there was this article. So on the 9th of February, today is the 11th, there was this article on the Winklevoss. How do you spell the name? Winklevoss, yeah. The brothers that allegedly invented Facebook, where Zuckerberg stole it from them. If you've read the book or seen the movie, we don't know what's true, and personally I don't give a shit. But anyway, they're big investors. And there was a lot of hype around them because they were worth approximately $17 billion after investing. They're worth more than 17 billion and as much as $24 billion, it's written here. Though that number fluctuates daily with prices swing in the cryptocurrency market. So anyway, there was a lot of articles about these two guys that have been made famous really by the Facebook movie because it was showing how their role in the making of Facebook, right? The life of a crypto billionaire, and anyway, they made a whole fuss about it with gains up to 32,000%, and etc., etc., etc. So then they were featured in an article in Fortune magazine that was writing about the biggest billionaires and the biggest holders of cryptocurrencies. And just a few days later, you get this article, and this article was published today in the night. Bitcoin billionaires turn into millionaires. Wow, you know, and this is even more mainstream. So before you were on Forbes and before you were on Fortune and maybe even Business Insider, But this is the main media. This is the main newspapers. It's one of the biggest newspapers in the British Empire, in the UK, in the United Kingdom. So people read this, they go to technology, look at to see some cool gadgets and things like this, and they get these articles. Bitcoin billionaires turn to millionaires as cryptocurrency world gets cold feet. Last week, Forbes magazine, known for tracking the world's most wealthy individuals, published a new rich list, the Crypto Billionaires Club. A who's who of the who have the most valuable stakes in cryptocurrency looked like the coming of age for a new wave of tech geeks who have become extraordinarily wealthy. At the top of the list was Chris Larsen, co-founder of Ripple, with a net worth of $8 billion. Others included and Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, identical twin bros who invested millions in Bitcoin after suing Mark Zuckerberg, claiming he stole the idea for Facebook from them. So, and then they say, but there was a catch. Ta-da-da. By the time Forbes had got around to publishing the list, most of the 10 billionaires on the list were no longer worth that much. Last week, a mass sell of the cryptocurrency saw prices tumble to their lowest levels for several months. The most famous digital currency, Bitcoin, which has climbed to $20,000 less than 2 months ago, fell below $6,000 at one point, and though it staged a slight recovery, it has still more than halved its value since December peak. Few of the billionaires or even ex-billionaires, they completely dramatize it. Of course the market's crashed, of course the market went down, but, and they say it here actually, these guys, they bought coins, a Bitcoin, when it was $120 per Bitcoin, and now it's still over $7,000. It's nearly $8,000. So, and this is just in a few years. I'm not talking about like 50 or 40 or 30 or 20 years. I'm not even talking about 10 years. I'm talking about more like 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years to get a coin from $100 to $8,000. It's a big deal. So of course when it goes up and up and up and up, and then it went down, people are saying it's lost, but it still gains. It still gains. And then they say, for months, regulators and governments have been warning that cryptocurrencies pose a substantial risk to investors. It doesn't pose a substantial risk for investors. It's just pose a substantial risk for people that invest and that don't know anything about investing and don't know anything about cryptocurrencies, don't know anything about how the blockchain works. Serious financial stability issues may result if they achieve wide-scale usage. Yeah, it's always the same. And oh yeah, of course, Randall Kars, who is he? He's the Federal Reserve Governor in charge of financial regulation. I mean, come on, like cryptocurrency, the blockchain was designed to combat those people. This year, digital currency prices have dropped dramatically, yeah, but like just before it soars like crazy, Anyway, then it goes on and on. You can read the article. I want to go to the next article. SEC says releasing Tesla's documents. Yeah, again, and this is from the New York Times, and I like the New York Times, and this was from 2 days ago, but they tell you there was this cryptocurrency. So a top US securities regulator says it cannot release documents related to the cryptocurrency project Tezos because doing so could interfere. Apparently, Tezos raised $232 million in an ICO, and what happened? This I really like. They put like quotation mark on the initial coin offering. Like, Tezos raised money in an initial coin offering, a type of online fundraiser where a new cryptocurrency is issued to contributors. While the Tezos ICO remained one of the largest by amount raised, contributors have yet to receive the tokens because the projects have been derailed by infighting between its promoters. I mean, you see this on the tech page of the New York Times, and you think, oh wow, all ICOs are like this, and it's not true. A lot of ICOs are really cool projects that are aimed to really make a significant change in the world, not for people putting money in their pockets. Now, are there some bad ICOs? Yes. Are there scams? Yes. But it's for you to find out. It's for you to do your research. It's for you to read the white papers. It's for you to look at the team. It's for you to look at their roadmap. It's for you to do a research. And I've never fallen into any kind of scam or any kind of bad ICO, because I do research and I ask around also to people that have the same interests as me. I don't want to continue more on the news, but you see New York Post, Russians arrested for mining cryptocurrency at nuclear facility. So people don't read the rest of the article, and we won't read it either. But basically, people, they see these titles and they see Russians, cryptocurrency, nuclear. So that contributes to the negative view of cryptocurrency. Global cryptocurrency market loses 100 billion in one day. So, and this is from The Independent. We're just looking at very fast now what contributes to the market being red right now. Ripple, the company behind cryptocurrency, signs international payment deal with foreign exchange giant UAE Exchange. So this is good news. Finally, some good news. UAE Exchange joining Ripple's RippleNet network for cross-border. Maybe this is why Ripple was soaring last night, but it has gone down since. When was this written? There's no date. How can there be no date? Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. Cryptocurrency ads are still getting through Facebook spam. Oh yeah, this also, I have a Facebook page where I blog about health and a lot of things, personal development, and I also blog about cryptocurrency. And the first few videos I made had a few hundred views. It was my first video, so it's pretty good. And I just put some keywords and cryptocurrency, and it worked perfectly well. And then there was those new regulations, and now nobody is seeing my posts on cryptocurrencies. And you can see people changing the name slightly. So instead of an O, they put a 0. What's the difference between Bitcoin and Bitcoin? I'm a programmer, I'm a developer, I'm an iOS developer, so I see it straight away when there's a 0 instead of an O, for example, but people don't see it. I'll try it and see if it works. I will see you tomorrow for another coin and for some more crypto truth news. Take care and see you tomorrow. Bye.